Hey, it's Josh, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you're having a good day. Pluggnb as a subgenre of hip-hop is like absolutely taking off. If you just scroll on TikTok and just search up Pluggnb or like Cashdammy, I mean, you have so many different artists who are making Pluggnb nowadays. So Pluggnb essentially just takes elements of R&B and plug, which is like a subgenre of hip-hop. I think plug was mainly popularized by producers like Mexico Dro and all of the artists that he was working with, and I'm pretty sure it was like mainly a wave back in around 2016, but then it kind of died off, and then we have like a resurfacing of plug, but instead it's Pluggnb in 2020 and 2021. Now I don't have too much experience on making Pluggnb, so I thought this would be a great time to just start getting into it and start experimenting in different subgenres of hip-hop. So without further ado, let's get into it. So just to make sure that I got the melody right, because I really don't have too much confidence with my melody making, I made this beforehand, so let me play it and then I'll break down everything that's inside of it. For the most part, I'm pretty sure that plug beats and Pluggnb type beats don't use fast tempos. I think if you're going above like 140, that might be a little bit too fast, so try and stay under that. We just want to have some nice relaxing cool vibes to it, and that definitely can be helped by having a slower tempo. Now real quick, if you're thinking of investing into different types of music production gear, go down to the description below and you'll see some of my favorite equipment that I like to use when I'm making music. And if you want to use the same sounds that I use in my beats, be on the lookout for my new drum kit, which will be coming out soon. Alright, so starting off, we have this very basic bell. I made a relatively simple chord progression as well. One of the main things though, especially for Pluggnb rather than plug, is that you want to have like sort of an emotional vibe to it. So as you're laying down your chords or the melody, try and think of how you can make the melody sound a little bit more emotional and have more of an R&B vibe to it. I think the main note in here that helps create tension and give that R&B vibe would be this note. And I just put some reverb, to give that nice ambient sound to the entire melody. Next up, I took a key. It sounds a lot like a Rhodes piano. And again, to get that nice emotional chill vibe, I used a stereo spread and reverb as well. And then I just copied over the chord progression. You'll often hear keys or organs that sound very similar to that in plug beats. Next up, this is also very common in plug music. I took a bell and I put an arpeggiator on it, as well as some reverb and delay too. I really want to wash it out because I want the bells to kind of be very in the background and just help create some ambience rather than being a major part of the melody. So I also put a low cut and high cut. And then finally, this is probably the main thing that is basically an essential in Pluggnb. We want a very high-pitched and emotional sounding lead, and a great thing you can do as you're making that melody with the lead is to glide your notes. I don't know exactly what it is about having your notes glide into each other, but it just sounds very nice at times, especially in Pluggnb. So here is how this melody sounds. But that is the melody, and honestly it's not that complicated. Basically just have this main bell, the key to layer, and then the arp to layer as well, and then finally the lead. And I think that's plenty right there, so let me move on to the drums. Again, if you want to use the same sounds that I'm using here, be on the lookout for my new drum kit. So we're going to start off with a clap. And I think there's too much low end, so I might take off a little. And then I'm just going to lay down a simple hi-hat pattern. For the most part, it should just be a two-step, but I'm going to have plenty of gaps throughout the pattern to make sure that we have that very chill vibe. We don't want the two-step hi-hat pattern to overpower. Alright, this is very basic. I randomized some of the velocities of the notes. I just don't want it hitting at the same power each time. And then this is going to be like the main part that's going to tie the entire beat together. Just going to be all the percussion and the effects. So let me start off with the percussion and then I'll move on to all of the effects. So we got this rim. And then a snap. And I have this rim roll, gonna like lead up the velocities. Create some nice bounce. And then I'm gonna have this very clean open at. And I think actually I might bump up the tempo just a little bit, maybe to around 135. Yeah, I think that's better. Alright, so now it's gonna be all of the effects. I'm sure you've heard all of these if you've listened to Plug music before. We got this lighter. We have this like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just a bunch of ticking noises. And then we have someone pouring up a double cup. That's such a satisfying sound. So let me just sort those around a little. It shouldn't take long. I think for the ticking, I want some reverb. Alright, and then finally it's just going to be the 808, and I think we're done here. So I don't want a very hard hitting 808. Again, we're trying to go for a very chill but sort of emotional vibe at the same time. So if we're coming in with like the most soft clip spins 808 in existence, that probably won't sound very good with this. So I think a simple Z 808 should do the trick here. Now let me copy over the bass line from the melody that we made. The 808 was really easy, just copied over the bass line as you saw and just chopped it up a little bit. And although there's already a lot of percussion, I do want to add the Z shaker. I think that'll fit nicely and just help create more texture in the drums, so let me do that real quick. Alright, well there is the shaker, and here's everything together. This one got me in my feels, damn. Alright, well I'm going to be rearranging this beat and playing it at the end of the video, so if you wanted to hear it, you can just go ahead and skip. Let me just break down some of the most important things for you to keep in mind if you wanted to make Pluggnb. So first off, make sure that your sound selection in the melody is good. You'll want to have a relatively soft main instrument, whether that be a bell, a pad, synth, or a key. Just make sure it's not too aggressive or upfront or dry sounding. In my case, I used a bell for the main instrument, so I layered a piano on top of it as well as an ARP. And then especially for Pluggnb, make sure that you have a very nice ambient sounding lead. Now for the drums, I think you can pretty much just do as much percussion as you want to, as long as it's not taking up too much room. In this beat, I used the rim, a snap, an open hat, a shaker, as well as a few effects. But because the hi-hat pattern was very simple and two-step and had a lot of gaps, it's okay in my opinion if you're filling up those gaps with percussion. And then of course, you don't want to have drums that are hitting very hard. Again, in my opinion, Pluggnb sounds a lot better when it's more atmospheric and chill and slow. So if you're coming in with like a hard-hitting snare or a very punchy 808, that might not be the best idea. And then in most cases, you probably don't want to use a kick in a beat like this. But yeah, I think that's going to be about it for today. Let me know what you thought about this beat in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful or enjoyable, and if you did, feel free to subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks again for stopping by. Have a good rest of your day, and as always, I'll see you soon.
Josh, one day they gon' know. day they gon' know.